onto the field for the final time. His resignation becomes effective in about 3 hours. And Chuck Knox may be taking the field here at the Kingdome for the last time, too. His future with the organization will be decided very shortly. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick, and it's great to have you with us tonight. When the Seahawks were 6-6, they seemed primed for their patented stretch drive. Instead, they are 0-3 in December. And Joe Theismann, the seeds of that failure were sown a long time ago.
Well, they really were, Mike. When you go back to Game 1 when David Craig got hurt, they lose their starting quarterback. They've had 23 different offensive players line up for them. They've had 4 different quarterbacks. And their defense has played very well. As a matter of fact, David Craig told me, he said, if it was just our defense, we'd be 12-4. The offense is played like they're 6-9. The defense can set a franchise record for the lowest points given up in a season. But one thing you can count on tonight, these guys are playing for one guy. They want Chuck Knox to stay here as the coach. I don't think he will be, but they're going to play like they want him to.
John Robinson, of course, already announced his resignation earlier this week. Before the season started, he was really sure that he could turn around the 5-11 record from 1990, but they never got it going.
They really didn't, and it started on defense. They made the change with Jeff Fisher as a defensive coordinator. He took over. They're last in turnovers in the league. They're last in sacks. It never really happened for them. Couldn't come up with the big plays. On offense, they wanted to run the football. They couldn't do that. Then they said, well, we'll try and throw the football. They couldn't do that. Jim Everett suffered. Had to go to his 6th game of the season before he threw a touchdown pass. The longest touchdown pass he's thrown this year, only 19 yards. But the thing is this is a football team that just has not been able to make big plays. I can guarantee you, though, somewhere on offense, somewhere on defense tonight for the Rams, they want to make at least one more big play for the man they're going to say goodbye to, John Robinson.
And John will be ending his 9th and final year with the Rams, only 2 years removed from the NFC Championship game. He's the winningest coach in Rams history. And Chuck Knox, 9 years here, the 3rd franchise that he's taken to a divisional title. The players want him back, as Joe said, but they probably won't get their wish, even at Christmas. Well, even Santa may not be able to do it this year. Rams have won the toss, and Seattle will pick. Jimmy Ray deep to receive, son of one of the assistant coaches. Back there along with David Lang. And Lang from the 7. Bodies flying early. He's out to the 18-yard line. And now for tonight's McLean Deluxe starting lineups. It's been a tough year for Jim Everett. He's rated as the 13th quarterback in the conference, has 7 more interceptions than touchdown passes. Henry Ellard's productivity hasn't fallen off, though. He's gone over the 1,000-yard mark for the 4th year in a row. Jackie Slater's Pro Bowl string has ended, but with 16 years in the league, he has played longer than any other Ram in history. McGee and Cleveland Gary open up as the backs in the eye behind Everett. Gary straight up the middle. Only a couple. Cortez Kennedy, after a wasted rookie year, living up to his first-round draft choice status, 66 tackles, 6.5 sacks. Rufus Porter, a 2-time Pro Bowler, leads the team in sacks again. He has 9 this season. And Eugene Robinson has matured into an impact player. He has equaled his career high with a team-leading 5 interceptions. 2nd down, 6 yards to go after Cleveland Gary gets 4 on the opening carry. Everybody jumps. Gary hit by Terry Wooden, dives forward to the 25-yard line. Check out the flag for you.
Jerry calling offside on the Rams. Nope, decides, no, let's make it Seattle. That was a little obvious. I think Jacob was across. He got himself turned around a little bit tonight.
Jacob was across for about 3 seconds.
Referee pointed in the wrong direction. Number 79, defense, offside.
You gotta like Jerry Mark-Wright. He's got a sense of humor.
Jacob trying to get a jump on Jackie Slater. He says, well, I'm there. I may as well keep on going. Looked like one of the moves from Hammer's video.
Had a little hitch in his get-along. So it will be 2nd and a yard. Ball spotted at the 27. Jackie Slater, 16 years.
I hope he makes
Pro
it
Bowl.
17.
Keep it on the ground. This is what the Rams have done throughout John Robinson's history with Los Angeles and what they haven't been able to do the last couple of years.
That's been a big problem for him, Mike. John is a running coach, and it's a running philosophy. And the productivity of their quarterback, Jim Everett, is based on how well they run the football. Last year, they got away from it. This year, they were unable to do it. Ernie Zampese, their offensive coordinator, he doesn't mind running the football. But when you get 1 or 2 yards on 1st and 10, you got to start putting it up.
And they have been in a position where Everett has had to make the big plays for them and hasn't always done it. And the rushing offense, very un-Ram-like, 27th in the league. Everett to throw for the first time, tipped and incomplete. And it looked like Tony Woods may have gotten a hand on it, the right defensive end.
The big thing that Seattle wants to do tonight to Jim Everett, he's a tall guy. He's a long strider. So what you want to try and do defensively is put pressure up the middle. He's had the happy feet this year, and I'll be honest with you, Mike, with justification. He's had a lot of pressure. Tom Catlin, the defensive coordinator, feels like the best way to attack him. If he's a big guy and he's a pocket passer, let's go up the gut, put people in his face.
And he has thrown an awful lot of passes off his back foot. The 18 interceptions ties a career high, or is a career high now. Gary fights his way forward to about the 35-yard line. Tony Woods again in on the stop. Everett, the only quarterback in the NFC West to have started every game in the last 2 years, but his productivity has dropped off dramatically. Just take a look at 1990 and 1991.
I mean, 88 to 90, he threw more touchdown passes than any quarterback in the league. Now, you know, everybody goes through a down cycle because the focal point is the quarterback, but the thing is, the people around you have to function to keep you at that optimum level.
3rd down and 5. Jacob Green hit him as he was ready to throw it. It's off. Nesby Glasgow inside the 15 to the 11. Defensive captain Jacob Green leveled him, and Glasgow gets the pick.
There's a couple different ways to attack a tackle. You can take him up the field, come underneath, or just try and blow by him. Slater comes up the field. He feels like he's got the pocket rimmed out. Everett back deep, gets hit as he throws the ball. You know, I mean, this is going to go down as an interception, but how do you blame the quarterback when he's putting the ball in the air when he gets hit?
Seattle, a great break. They start at the Ram 11-yard line. John L. Williams cuts it back, almost nothing.
Nesby Glasgow with that interception. That was their 37th turnover caused by the defense. I mean, the defense, as David Craig told me, he said, hey, if it was just our defense, we're 12-4. They have played sensationally.
Kelly Stauffer said he felt sad for them that they had to put up with an offense like the Seahawks had run this year. 2nd, call it 9. John L., the single remaining setback behind David Craig. Throws off his back foot over the middle, incomplete at the 1-yard line. Pat Terrell on the coverage. Pass intended for Derek Lavelle. Take a look at that Seattle offense, and David Craig starting, missed half the season with a broken thumb, 10 touchdown passes, 10 interceptions. Brian Blades needs only 82 yards for his 2nd straight 1,000-yard season. This has been his best year in the league. And up front, Brian Millard, a great run blocker, one of only 2 linemen to start every game. Millard, a Pro Bowl alternate this year. 3rd and 9. Pressure on Craig, steps up, hit as he throws it, it's picked off. Intercepted by Anthony Newman. And Newman's got a chance. Yards, and Kevin Green did to Dave Craig what Jacob Green did to Everett.
And this has been what has plagued the Seahawks all year long. They get down into the red area to try and make a play, and they can't. Kevin Green, who's been laid up in bed for 2 days, they fed him intravenously today because he's been so sick. Here he steps up. Green doesn't quit. Comes in, hits him from the left side as Craig puts the ball in the air. Another lame duck. And talking to Jeff Fisher, the defensive coordinator of the Rams, he said if there's one mistake he felt like he made this year was not playing Anthony Newman enough. He said, this guy is a big play guy. I have to get him on the field more. He will split time tonight with Michael Stewart. There was one of the big plays that he came up with.
We've got a timeout on the field, 11:05 to go in the first quarter. Each team has already turned it over. At the Seahawks 37-yard line, Jeff Fisher, the defensive coordinator, brought in this year, switched to a new alignment, and there got a turnover. Everett with time, wants to go deep, intended for Anderson, double covered, and almost picked off again. Eugene Robinson was right there.
I like that. I mean, you come back out, that's almost getting yourself in a rhythm. You come out, big turnover, come out, let's try and get on top of them quick. Jimmy Everett hung in the pocket that time and put it up deep. Flipper trying to go up top. Eugene Robinson just having a sensational year, almost makes a great catch. Excellent job defensively.
Turnovers, 37 takeaways. That is 4th best in the NFL, but 41 giveaways. That has not been the history of Chuck Knox football. Gary hit in the backfield, never had a chance. Cortez Kennedy, the 3rd man taken in the draft a year ago, and what a familiar story. Holds out, has a very unproductive first year. Second year, he is the impact player he was supposed to be.
And they changed the whole defensive philosophy in Seattle because of him, because he's a down lineman. Look at the speed.
Oh.
Tom Newberry, the center, just doesn't have a chance. That's the one thing about Cortez Kennedy that they talk about. He has great explosion and quickness off the ball.
3rd and 10 for the Rams. Del Pino is in for the first time. He will play only in 3rd down situations or passing situations tonight. Comes the rush on Everett, unloads, intended for Anderson, incomplete, and Brian Davis was right there. Davis starting because Patrick Hunter is out with a hip injury.
When you talk to Chuck Knox, he says the thing that Jim Everett does best is he throws that quick slant seam, which we just saw there. That's the one play that we're going to have to shut down for him to control Everett tonight.
So the Rams, after taking advantage of the turnover, failed to get any points out of it, and Barry Helton is in to kick. Chris Warren waits inside the 10. They will pass up the opportunity to try what would have been a 54-yard field goal from Zendejas, who is only 14 out of 14.
Don't want to ruin his record. Percentages in his
right.
favor at that distance.
He's only kicked 2 long ones all year.
Plus the air conditioning's blowing hard at that end.
And they will take the 5-yard delay of game penalty and back it up.
I think they can refuse it.
They can.
They can refuse it, which accomplishes absolutely nothing except run 45 seconds off the clock.
Offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Why don't they just say, well.
You know what's ironic? You know what's ironic is that it just doesn't happen. And Chuck Knox, he's been around here too long. He's not going to buy that.
With the way these teams have gone this year, either one of them might have bought it. Warren signals fair catch, lets it go, and Helton gets the nice bounce. There is a flag down, and the ball down around the 5, a punt of only 30 yards, but very effective. We'll check out the penalty flag for you with Jerry Markbright. Ineligible receiver downfield, and undoubtedly they'll make them kick it again.
They're going to get the yardage now. They're going to get the yards back they wanted. That's the way to do it. Don't let the clock run down. Don't take the delay of pay penalty. Run down the field and then get it assessed.
Hope you'll be with us tomorrow night for Shap Talk. Dick's special guest, Marcus Allen, who played very well for the LA Raiders today. As always, you'll have a chance to call in and ask questions. Chef Talk tomorrow night at 8:30. There may be a Todd Marinovich question or two included in that one.
Okay, I will call him.
Here's an old teammate of yours.
His old teammate has been the special teams coach here in Seattle. But, you know, there's a guy, there's a lot of head coaching jobs, I think, that are available. And Marv Levy started his career as a special teams coach. Dick Vermeil and Rusty Tillman's one of those guys with a wealth of energy and has done an excellent job coaching the special teams unit of the Seattle Seahawks.
Helton will try it again. He'll need another bounce. Almost got it, but the ball went into the end zone. A punt of 42. The net only 22. So the Seahawks will start from their own 20-yard line when we come back. Pair of early turnovers, but no score. The Rams and the Seahawks. 9:45 to go first quarter, Joe.
Yep, there's Tom Flores, general manager and president general manager of the Seahawks. I had a chance to visit with him on Friday. He said that any speculation as to what will happen with Chuck Knox is ludicrous because there's been no conversation. He was not going to have any until the season was over. He and Mr. Bering and Chuck are going to sit down after Christmas and talk about Chuck's future. There's Ken Bering. My personal feeling is that there'll be a new coach here in Seattle.
And Chuck Knox will land a job and have another winner. Craig play action. In the flat to John L. Taken out of bounds by Fred Strickland. Rams defensive line has been a disaster. The one bright spot, rookie Robert Young, who the coaches say could be the steal of the draft this year. Kevin Green has struggled in Jeff Fisher's new defense. After averaging 15 sacks the last 3 years, he has 2. Todd Light hasn't been a first-round impact player after the now familiar extended rookie holdout. He has won a starting job, though. There's Green. He did apply the pressure to Craig earlier and caused the interception.
He's starting to move around a lot more. See, he's been playing the end position. Now he's standing up in a 2-point. Now he'll rush from up there.
John L. Up to about the 24-yard line. There is a flag down on the play. John L. Williams, number 3 in the conference in yards from scrimmage. This will go against the Rams. John L. is always up in that category. One of the unheralded, underpublicized, outstanding players in the NFL.
I mean, every year, you know, it's 60 catches, 700+ yards, always up in combined yards. He told me, sitting down visiting with him Friday in the locker room.
51 defense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Penalty against Baronez.
Sitting in the Seattle locker room on Friday, it wasn't as down as you might think. With, you know, 6-9 is it's not like 3-12. I got to be honest with you. He said the most disappointing thing is when the offense, when he jogs off the field and he sees the faces of the defensive guys running back on. He says that is disheartening.
Of course, it all started when Craig broke a thumb in the first game of the year. Craig over the middle for Blades, incomplete. Good coverage that time. Henley and Michael Stewart on the double team.
Kevin Green in the new defense of Jeff Fisher has been forced to play in a lot of places. On this particular play, he's standing up on what is considered the right side of the offense, the left defensive outside position. That is where he is most comfortable because he can use his right arm to shed blockers and move them around. You take a look at the numbers, 16.5, 13 sacks, and only 2. One of those 2 sacks he got last week.
And he has been in a Lawrence Taylor type defensive mode where he's been allowed to come most of the time. In the new defense, he doesn't, and it's really hurt his productivity. Coming this time, doesn't get there. The pass complete, should be enough for the first down. Chadwick made the catch just across the 30. Anthony Newman with the stop. A blitzing linebacker, Kevin Green in the system, and John Robinson said that is his position. That's where he's effective. You put him somewhere else, he does not have the other special abilities where you can make him a 3-down linebacker.
He's not big. Well, he's not big enough.
Right.
He's 250. And he has great ability from the 2 points to put moves on tackles.
John L. Not this time. Stacked up by Alvin Wright out of Jacksonville State, the 6-year veteran. Defensive line beset by injuries this year.
You know, this place is, I don't know, we've been coming here for 6 years, Mike. you and I have been coming here for the last 4.
Right.
This is the quietest I've heard the Kingdom since I've been. And Dave Wyman mentioned it. And a lot of credit has to go to the defensive coordinators like Jeff Fisher, who keep the fans out of this game. I mean, that's the advantage, is the noise that this place can create. A lot of people sitting on their hands in the stadium right now.
Traditionally one of the loudest, if not the loudest, place to play. Here's the blitz by Fairness. Craig unloads, complete to Tice. There's a flag down. So is Tice to 35-yard line. Michael Stewart made the tackle. Tice had not caught a pass in 2 years until this season. That was 10. But it will be wiped out by the holding penalty.
He is also their third-string disaster quarterback. If anything should happen to David Craig and Dan McGuire, their #1 pick.
Holding number 74. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Warren Wheat, the starting left guard, was the Rams' #2 pick in 1989. Interesting you should mention about Mike Tice being the backup quarterback, or third-string quarterback. He is 6'7", 249, which means he's smaller than McGuire at 6'7", 249.
Talk about two bookends. David Craig's got to feel terrible in a meeting when they stand up.
2nd and 21 after the penalty. Craig throws short. Caught by Chadwick. He's submarined by Henley. Chadwick with his 2nd catch. There's the big #1 draft choice. 6'8", 245. He only played once this year. Got a start. Was 3 out of 7.
Against Indianapolis. But the thing is, that's the only game that the Seahawks have scored more than 30 points in through the entire season.
But he wasn't involved in a whole lot of that. He was 3 out of 7. 3rd and 14 here. Craig throws underneath, complete to Blades. He's tripped up as he got to the 31 by Anthony Newman. And that will bring up a 4th down and a punt. And some restless fans grumbling about the call on 3rd and long. Rick Tootin will come on to punt. The 3rd punter of the year and by far the most successful. Darrell Henley goes back.
You know, he's only back for his 10th punt return, but here's a guy who's really had an excellent year with the corner, has 3 interceptions, really postponed Todd Light's emergence into the secondary of the Rams by playing so well.
Beautiful punt. Henley driven back 20 yards to his own 15. Slips the tackle. And then brought down. Daniels, good hustle on special teams. A return of 12 after a punt of 53. Dome in Seattle, the Rams and the Seahawks, 0-0.
Jeff Fisher, the defensive coordinator of the Rams, conversing with Darrell Henley. Pat Terrell.
Rams take over. Cleveland Gary, the single setback, limited this year by injuries. Had an active first quarter so far. Cuts this one back. Nice stutter step across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. Darren Como was in there.
The reason why we're seeing so much of Cleveland Gary and Marcus Dupree is that Robert Del Pino has a sore ankle. Actually, it's above the ankle on the outside of the foot. He will be used in 3rd down situations, but sparingly. There's a guy who's come on, 679 yards rushing, 54 receptions. Really took advantage of the opportunity that was presented to him.
And really a 205 pounds, not John Robinson's big back style runner, but used almost as an emergency player. Here's Gary breaking through the line of scrimmage across the 40. 1st down for the Rams. Rufus Porter made the tackle. Gary has already carried 6 times for 26 yards.
Guys get a reputation in this league, Mike. Cleveland's has one of putting the ball on the ground. That time when he broke through and you saw him reach for that extra yards, instinctively, I could hear the fans at home going, is it going to go out? No, thank goodness.
Last year, 11 fumbles, 4 more than any other NFL running back, but this year only 1. Dumps it to Gary. Gary forced out of bounds. Looked like he'll have a 1st down. Rufus Porter slipped over there and missed him. Brian Davis made the tackle.
Jim Everett has come under scrutiny and criticism for his lack of stepping up in the pocket, having the happy feet. Here he takes a snap. Now it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-step drop. Good shuffle. Bring your feet forward. Turns his hips and shoulders. That's what happens when you get protection. And Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator, that's what he strives for, is to get him back, get him under himself so that he's compact and able to make a short stride and throw the ball. That was excellent execution on that play.
On first down, Gary again. Gaping hole up the middle and flops forward to the 35-yard line. Bernd Brostek, number 61, his left guard, gave him a heck of a block, and Eugene Robinson had to make the tackle.
All-Pro number 78, perennial All-Pro, Jackie Slater. Look at him drive off the ball. Jeff Bryant just drives him all the way back, staying down, gets Como, moves Cortez Kennedy out of the way. He's a one-man wrecking crew on the right side.
He took Como 15 yards down the field. Interesting conversation with him last night. He's delighted that so many people are interested in his future and the fact that he may play another year.
I hope he does. He's certainly worthy of the opportunity.
Gary again. Gets a couple. This time Como got a good shot at him and stopped him for 32. This defensive unit is the only one in the AFC that has not allowed a 100-yard rusher or a 300-yard passer. That is incredible in this day and age of offenses.
There's Tom Catlin, defensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks. Been here for a long time. Had his team constantly out and running. That's, you know,
been with Chuck Knox forever.
And if Chuck Knox leaves, you got a chance of getting the whole staff. Of course, Catlin sort of at the end of his coaching career.
2nd and 7. Anderson and knocked away at the last moment. Robert Blackman, who along with Robinson forms a terrific safety combination, got a hand up to knock it away.
Well, I talked about Jim Everett a couple plays ago, what it was like to get back with rhythm and body balance. There's one. Look at that left side. See that left hip way out so far, just really flinging it. And what happens is the ball comes out a lot more uncontrollably. Should have never made the throw in the first place because Blackman got out underneath. But it's just, you can't just wing it. I mean, there's a way to throw the football, and you got to try and keep yourself under balance.
And nobody's got an arm strong enough to zing it going backwards. Delay to Del Pino. Slipped the tackle, upended as he got to the 27. Robinson a sure tackle. Tom Catlin said that Robinson was the one player on this defensive unit he could not afford to lose. He just does so many things for them. And Tony Zendejas will come out to try a 44-yard field goal. It would be his 15th straight this year. And no one has ever had a minimum of 15 tries and made them all in the history of this league in a season. He has only had 2 kicks longer than 40 yards all year long. Make him 15 for 15. Zendejas out of Nevada Reno makes it a 3-0 game Rams. The Rams, with 1:02 to go in the first quarter, have taken a 3-0 lead over the Seattle Seahawks.
No, Jim Everett is not calling home to wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Take a look at some of the stats on running backs, and Emmitt Smith of Dallas has won the rushing title with a great performance today, barely edging Barry Sanders. Thurman Thomas did not get the chance to play. They want him healthy for the playoffs. Hampton finished 4th. Ernest Biner finished 5th. 5 quality guys all over 1,000 yards. Smith had 160 yards today. Great performance. Lavelle and Warren are deep. Lavelle from the 1. Had a seam and then ran into traffic at the 24. If Zendejas does not miss a field goal the remainder of this game, he will go down in the NFL record books as the only kicker ever to have a perfect season. He has made all 15 of his tries this year. That's not bad.
Brett Farinage is down on the field.
So I think that is a fear of players on losing teams who are not going into the playoffs, coming into the last game. The one thing that's in the back of your mind, geez, I just hope I don't get hurt.
How hard do you play going into the last game when nothing's at stake? Now watch him stick that right shoulder in. There's a shot on the noggin. Sticks that shoulder in, and then he goes down. Every time you see that, you know, since Mike Utley got hurt, of course, we all send our best wishes along to Mike Utley. There's a guy who's gutting it up and cheering his Detroit Lions on, and hopefully Fairnays is okay.
ESPN's Thrifty Car Rental Bowl Week begins next Sunday night with Air Force against Jackie Sherrill's Mississippi State Club at 8 o'clock. It continues the following night with a Thrifty Car Rental Holiday Bowl at 8 o'clock. Number 7 Iowa against BYU. And then on Wednesday, January 1st, set your alarm early, 11 a.m. with the Peach Bowl, number 12 East Carolina, number 21 North Carolina State.
Sounds like a peach of a day. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
Wish you had.
I'm sorry. Okay. There. Ah, good. Brett's up a little bit. Well, it's amazing. Try and explain this game to somebody who doesn't understand football. What happens on a kickoff? Well, a guy lines up 65 yards away from somebody else, runs as fast as he can, and tries to run into him. And that makes sense. That's why they call these teams special, because it takes a special guy.
There could be other terms for it.
He's not sure he's in L.A. or Seattle right now.
But fortunately, walking off under his own power. So the Seahawks take over just shy of their own 25-yard line. Williams and Lavelle are the backs. Derek Lavelle on the toss. After about the 29, middle linebacker Larry Kelm, who leads his club in tackles, picks up his 103rd for the year.
Seattle Seahawk defense, again, a hard-earned rest. Jeff Bryant, Jacob Green, Cortez Kennedy, Tom Catlin doing a little homework, writing.
Second down at 6.
I don't know what the shield is for, but they're working on Brett Fairnays. Lavelle gets another carry, hit in the backfield. Stewart with a great job penetrating, made the tackle behind the line of scrimmage, and that will be the last play of the first quarter here in the Kingdome. A low-scoring affair, only a field goal, and a 3-0 lead. Ready to start the second quarter. The Rams leading the Seahawks 3-0 here in Seattle. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann, along with our entire ESPN crew with you. Merry Christmas to you and yours, and Merry Christmas to Wayne Fonts, who is certainly one of the Coach of the Year candidates, and Wayne has joined us here in the second quarter. 12-4, Coach. I can't imagine anybody that saw your opening game against the Redskins that would imagine you would go 12-4. Could you imagine it?
Well, we never did. We thought we were going to be a pretty good football team, Mike, but I tell you what. The guys have played extremely hard. My coaching staff done a great job. And if I could just take a second, a lot of times coaches get a lot of credit. I like to give the credit to my coaching staff. They've done a tremendous job preparing my football team, and my team's also played very well under tremendous adversities.
Would you like to say something in particular to George Seifert tomorrow night, like, you know, win one
George,
for me?
George, please. Hey, we need the week off, George. George, give me a chance. But I'm very excited what's happened to us, and after that first ball game, I thought the team held together. We've lost 7 players out for the year. For this team to play the well they're playing, it's a tribute to this football team and my coaching staff.
All right, Wayne, stick around for a second with us, if you will. Over the middle, an incomplete, knocked away. Nice defensive play by Anthony Newman.
Wayne, you know, Barry Sanders had another sensational year for you. I mean, do the numbers really bear out how important he is to your ball club?
You know, Joe, they kept stacking the line to stop Barry Sanders, and we finally said, look, let's throw the football. If we're consistent throwing the football, my God, they put 9 guys up front to stop Barry, and Barry's the best player I've ever been associated with. He's also the best person I've been associated with, Joe.
Seattle's going to have to punt it away. Tootin comes on, and Henley is waiting at his 28-yard line. We'll get back to Wayne in just 1 second. 4th and 7. Henley takes it at his 24. and Wooden trips him up as he got to the 36. Wayne, you lost Mike Kofer earlier in the year. You lost Rodney Peete. You had to go through the Mike Utley tragedy. As we already referred to, you had that horrible opening day blowout. What was the key in keeping the team together and winning?
I thought this team believed in themselves, and I thought they believed in the coaching staff, and I thought they believed in the organization. This is our third year of our program, and we're getting better. It's a tribute to the team itself. I think they believe that they can win, and they're winning. And again, I want to say one thing. This coaching staff has done a great job. My assistants have done a great job preparing this football team to play.
First and 10 for the Rams. They have it at their own 36. Marcus Dupree is in at running back. Everett dumps it to Dupree. This guy is a load. Look at that. Dupree still has some speed, just tripped up as he got to the 43.
You know, Wayne, back in the 70s, you were part of the Tampa franchise that, you know, really tried to get along. And, of course, the Lions did a great job here with the offense coordinator changes, both June Jones and Mouse Davis leaving, and sort of left you with what was a modified version of a run and shoot. In your mind, what is the key to building a winning program? Because it looks like there's a lot of friends of yours that are going to be either starting or leaving jobs.
I think it's believing in what you're trying to do, Joe. I think it's one of those things where we build a strong foundation. We've got a young football team, a team that thinks they can win. We've got a great defense. I think you start with that. And our special team's been playing very well, Joe. And right now, this team believes in itself. And I think that's our biggest plus.
Last completion to Ellard. Harper made the tackle. It will be a Rams first down. Coach, there's been a lot made about playing indoors and outdoors. Is that really a biggest factor as it seems?
No, not really. I tell you what, Mike, it's one of those things where we've won 4 games outside this year. We've won a lot of games in domes. I think we finally pushed that mystique away. We can win outdoors and we can win on the road. This is a football team that's getting better as it goes. Right now, we're banged up tremendously. The thing we have to do is stay focused on what we're doing and win one game at a time.
I'll tell you, when you play indoors, Wayne, you can see a lot more of your face because you've learned how to dress for the elements when you go outside. Barely see your eyes.
Hey, Joe, I keep trying to hide so no one can tell I'm the head coach or not.
Dupree slithers through on that last one. Wayne, this is a tough business to be in. John Robinson coaching his last game with the Rams. Chuck Knox probably coaching his last game with the Seahawks. Your thoughts on both those guys? You've been around, been winners for a long time.
I'll tell you what, they're both great coaches. They've been around a long time. I only hope that I can be along as long as they have. And they're great coaches, and sometimes things don't go right. Sometimes the players get hurt. Sometimes just can't get it done. But they're both great coaches, and I hope that Wayne Fontes is around as long as they've been around.
Wayne, congratulations again on a great year, 12-4. You've already got your Christmas present. You had a wonderful season. We hope you get another one in the playoffs, and thanks for taking the time to join us.
Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it.
Rams on 2nd and 3, taking it into the middle of the line down to the 35-yard line. Fascinating to see Marcus Dupree in this ball game. When he came out of high school, people said this might be the best high school running back in the history of running backs. He had 1 year at Oklahoma where he was absolutely incredible, and then came into the USFL where he suffered that devastating knee injury. There are his numbers, 44 rushing attempts this year coming into this game. He'll never be the back he was before.
No, as a matter of fact, John Robinson envisioned him more as an O.J. Anderson type of a back in his offense. Never really the breakaway guy he used to be.
No, the blazing speed isn't there anymore. Del Pino in on 3rd and 2. He'll get the draw. Very close to the first down, and the spot looks like he has it. Another good block by Bernd Brostek, the left guard. Eugene Robinson up to make the stop.
You know that defensive linemen on 3rd down are going to try and pass rush. There you see Brostek come around, make the hit. You know, it's a little unfair when you go out and pick on a safety, James Jefferson, who's standing there, and you're as big as Brostek is, 300 pounds. You better have somebody pick up 3 yards behind you.
First down Rams. 11 minutes even to go first half. They already lead 3-0. Everett under pressure. Throws off the back foot. Complete to Dupree. Shakes the tackle. Gets down to the 30-yard line. Even though he is not the running back he once was, he is still tough.
You know, he has a philosophy, and he knows now that he's not going to be able to run away from people. But the thing that he wants to do, and we saw it on this first reception, He wants to deliver a blow. He doesn't mind having people hit him. He knows he's not going to shake that much. So, hey, take him on. Take the initial hit. Great balance. He hasn't lost that. Of course, the injury, you can't see any sign of the problem from the knee. Still making people taking shots on it.
He's listed out of Southern Mississippi because he transferred from Oklahoma and never played there before going into the pro. Dupree out in the flat again. Nice catch. He got it down to the 29-yard line. That was a tough catch. When you're going laterally to the line of scrimmage, I know it's tough to throw, but it's tough to catch, too. That was just off target.
It's tougher to throw it like he did. That was a lateral. The guy wasn't even out in front. I've always felt, Mike, that is the toughest throw in football, because what you want is the receivers to have their shoulders pointed upfield. But you see how he has to extend himself? I mean, if a linebacker is in his face, you're really talking about exposing a guy.
3rd and 7. On 3rd and long, the Rams have been at 30% this year. 4-man rush. Everett with time, and off the fingertips of Jimmy Ray, the rookie out of Arizona State. His dad, Jimmy Ray Sr., the wide receiver coach.
I talked to Jimmy Ray Sr. on the field. I said, what's it like to have your son out here? He said, a little exciting.
I'll bet.
It really is. There he is. Dad watching son.
His son has not had a catch this year. That was the best opportunity he's had. Spent the first 14 weeks on the practice squad for this club. Zendejas is on. This will be 46 yards, trying to keep that perfect streak going. Doink, and he got it. Well, if you're going to be perfect, you might as well include one of those. And a little wry smile on the face of Tony Zendejas, who has hit all 16 of attempts this year, and it's 6-0. When you got it going good, you got it going good. Six 0. The Rams kick off. LaVille from the 10. Across the 30, still on his feet to the 35-yard line. Let's go back and take a look at Zendejas' second field goal, the one that hit the upright.
How close is close? If this is an inch to the left, it's coming back at him. Look at that. Just caroms off. Winds up being good. Hey, John Robinson's got to be standing there. Sure. 16 weeks. Now I'm starting to get the bounces. Couldn't have happened back in week 3, could it?
History, a very fragile thing. And Zendejas now 16 for 16 this year. Craig, play action. In trouble. And throws it incomplete to John L. Williams. And that's the rookie Robert Young, who Jeff Fisher said in the 5th round may have been the steal of the draft.
There's a guy who was a defensive end in a 3-4 defense in college, but he really likes playing in this defense because he can get more aggressive.
Mainly used as a pass rusher in college.
Of course, the Rams have dominated this thing offensively. Seattle only 6 minutes, 51 seconds in the first quarter, have run only 12 offensive plays and 3 yards rushing.
Young, of course, a candidate for the all-rookie team this year. Here comes the blitz. Craig trying to get outside and just throws this one away, and a flag is down. Literally, there was nobody within 25 yards of that one.
I'm surprised there wasn't anybody in the building that was close. You and I were closer to that one, I think.
Michael Stewart applying the pressure on the all-out blitz, and Craig just said, see ya. The biggest part of that penalty, it's not only the yardage, it's the loss of it down.
Michael Stewart, number 23, is going to come right up the gut. David's going to run out this way to try and get rid of him. He's going to throw it off into nowhere. Here comes the blitz. Does a nice job of setting up, actually put a move behind Kevin Green. Good job by Kevin Green creating a shield.
It's a loss of 18 yards, and it's 3rd and 28. Delay to John L. Oh, Jerry Gray put a shoulder right in his face mask and dropped him. Woo. My.
Oh, yeah. You don't think these guys have come to play? This isn't week 16. This is my job on the line. Watch the right side of your screen. Hello. Good night.
Oh.
Now, Jerry Gray really, Todd Light has taken his cornerback position, the right cornerback position, and he's going to wind up playing inside. He's not real thrilled about being one of the safeties, but they feel like that's where he can be most effective, and it's because of hitting like that that he'll wind up there.
Henley waits for the punt, because the Seahawks can't get anything started on offense. Another nice kick. Henley being chased and dropped at the 23-yard line. There is a flag down. In fact, there are multiple flags down after a 49-yard punt from Rick Tootin.
What you're going to have is you're going to have ineligible man downfield, and you're going to have incidental face mask on the return. And we'll let the ref, Jerry Markwhite, explain it.
You're getting good at this.
I don't want a white hat. No, thank you.
Sorting it out now with 7:53 to go in the first half. 2 Ram field goals make it 6-0. And you're right, it is deadly quiet in the Kingdom. Now they're indicating the face mask also against the Seahawks.
We have a face mask foul on number 42 of the receiving team. On the return, that foul is declined. We have an illegal man downfield, number 99 kicking team. 97 kicking team. That penalty is accepted. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
It's somebody.
You explain it. I'm out of here.
Somebody on the kicking team was illegally down the field, so they're going to kick it over.
We invite you to join us from Honolulu. Sunday, February 2nd. We'll bring you the AFC NFC Pro Bowl. Joe, Chris, Tom Jackson, and I'll be there, all the All-Stars at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Got some newcomers this year. A couple of the old pros are back, newcomers.
Gilbert.
Congratulations to Gilbert. Al Smith, Houston Oilers.
Yes,
congratulations to him.
Seahawks just haven't done anything on offense. And we'll punt it away on 4th and 22. Shooting another mortar shot, and Henley driven all the way back to his 19. And driven forward on the tackle to the 35-yard line. A return to 15 after a beautiful punt of 58. It's still 6-0 Rams. Second period. We'll be back in a moment. 7:41 to go first half. The Rams on the strength of a couple of field goals leading Seattle 6-0. And we have a sellout crowd of 64,981. A tribute to the fans here at the Kingdome in Seattle. Here's tonight's Budweiser storyline. Everett 34 yards and an interception. Craig only 18 yards and an interception. Zendejas the only scoring 44 and 46 yards with an assist from the upright. Total offense for both teams rather anemic so far.
Ugly. Anemic, ugly, any way you want to cut it.
Gary and McGee in the backfield. Everett stepped up well this time, and Ellard made the grab at the 41-yard line. Brian Davis cut his legs out from under him, but it's a gain of 25.
Jim Everett is just, all he needs is some protection up the middle. We talked about the fact that he's a big strider, goes back. Good job by his offensive line. They give him plenty of room, has a nice shuffle feet, good step up, excellent extension by Henry Ellard to make the reception. But that one was thrown with a lot of confidence. He puts a lot of mustard on this one. They're the kind of catches that give you confidence, too. It wasn't perfect, but he got the job done for his QB.
Over 1,000 yards for the 4th year in a row. Cleveland Gary. Wooden wraps him up in the backfield. It will be a loss of 2. This is a good blend of veterans and young players on the Seattle defense. You've got Wooden, 2 years out of Syracuse. You've got guys like Jacob Green and Jeff Bryant who are in double digits, and they have played very, very well together.
It is, you know, and then your coordinator. Tom Catlin does a great job with them. You see how the defensive linemen take on the blockers that allows the linebackers to roam in and make the plays. This defense has not been a mystery. He hasn't done a lot of, you know, it's a base 3-4. but he does a lot of little things in it, frees up those linebackers to run the ball back.
2nd and 11. Gary, the single setback. Everett throws incomplete. Brian Davis on top of Ellard. Of course, whoever comes in as the new coach, this is a 4-3 defense, what has been successful, and you would have to hope that they would bring in a coach who wants a 4-3 scheme.
Well, these two teams are very similar when you talk about their defenses. The Rams instituted the 4-3 this year. Seahawks went out and got Cortez Kennedy. They felt like he would be most effective. I mean, there's one defensive player, Cortez Kennedy, who's responsible for an entire change of the defensive philosophy by the Seahawks.
Of course, they had another young man, Eric Hayes, starting at the other tackle, but he's been hurt. Del Pino now comes in on 3rd and 11. Blitz. Everett unloads, intended for Ellard, and knocked away at the last moment by Robert Blackman, who nearly had the 2nd interception of the night for the Seattle secondary.
Very helpless on the punt. Chris Quarterback, keep receiving the seat.
Everett's a shotgun looking downfield. He sees it coming. I mean, he knows it's coming. Joe Nash comes in on the right side. Robert Blackman almost making the play. Rod Perry, the defensive backfield coach, says he's become so much more aware of how to play that position in the secondary.
Helton will punt to Chris Warren, who waits at the 7. Trying to pooch it. And the Rams will have a shot at downing it. And it just rolls into the end zone, or did it? No, at the 1-foot line. And it looked like Jerry Gray again, who got the initial big play to keep it out of the end zone. 41-yard punt to the 1-foot line. To go in the half, still a 6-0 game, and instant replay has come into practice again.
Yes, it has. Now, you may think that that ball went in the end zone, but let's take a look at Jerry Gray. Remember, he has left the field to play. He now is in the end zone. Now he hits the ball, which means that he's established position in the end zone. The ball is a touchback right now. Anything that else happens is secondary. Watch his foot. There it goes. There it is, right here. Right there. Sorry, Jer.
Now, his body can be over that line, but once you touch,
once his foot
in the end zone, that's it. James Jones and John L. Williams in the backfield. Seattle desperate to get something started on offense. Craig with a quick toss. We get about 6 out of this, complete to Blades. With John Robinson's coaching prevails this year, he was rumored to be on his way to Arizona State, something that he said initially angered him. And then he thought because it was such a terrible job of reporting, he just started laughing about it. His final line was, well, they thought they saw me. Actually, it was Robert Redford going to Arizona State, and they just got us mixed up again.
Yeah, and he said, you know, they finally didn't even buy that, unfortunately. So I can't win anywhere this year.
They said he's never talked to them. May end up as a broadcaster. John L. Williams pounding his way out to the 34-yard line. Williams over 700 yards rushing for the season.
And that's a sigh of relief by Seattle's defense. The first 4 possessions the Seahawks had the ball was 3 and out.
And Williams now has the 2nd best rushing total of his career. 4 carries, 19 yards tonight. His best in 88, 877 yards. And a rare first down for the Seahawks. John L. again. Wrapped up that time by David Rocker, the rookie out of Auburn, free agent.
David Craig has been the leader of the Seattle Seahawks team really since he's been here. He's been benched on a couple of different seasons for a period of time. Always has come back well to lead a late rush. Talking to Van McElroy, who's come here from the Raiders, he said that, boy, what really hurt us more than anything was the lack of having David Craig around. He has 4 screws and a plate in his right thumb, and he said he's going to keep it there till the end of his career because it gives the thumb stability. Craig
this time near side, incomplete, intended for Blades. And Anthony Newman was out there. Of course, when Craig is hot, you'd rather have him than anybody else in the entire National Football League, because when he is hot, he'll complete 20 in a row and fit them through the tiniest openings you can find.
When he is good, he is great. When he gets off, there's no telling where the ball's going to go. I mean, he's already got an intentional grounding call tonight. That throw was low and away outside. He hasn't hit a stride or a streak yet. That's something that the Seattle Seahawks really haven't done. They never hit a streak through the course of this year.
Craig only 5 out of 12 tonight. All-out blitz. Everybody came. He read it perfectly. Tommy Kane to the 31-yard line. You can see it coming when it's a sellout blitz. If the receiver and the quarterback read it, you got a chance for the big play.
That's a tough thing. Lower part of your screen. There comes everybody. Tommy Kane does a good job, but David Craig is back in the shotgun. With him being 5 yards back, nobody can get to him. Kane does a nice job at the line of scrimmage. Newman doesn't stand a chance. I mean, he's got to cover the entire length and width of the football field and trying to play catch-up.
Tommy Kane, a former hockey player with Mario Lemieux in Montreal. Craig jumps this one off to James Jones. And Jones pile drives down to the 20-yard line. Gerald Robinson, trailing the play, made the tackle.
Larry Kelm, the middle linebacker, missed the opportunity to make a play.
Jones, a lot of people don't remember him as you see Kelm. With the Lions, 84, 85, 86, he was the most valuable offensive player on that team. Came here in a trade. Until this year, he had not started since he came here. But Derek Fenner just never got it going this year. And finally, they turned to Jones. Seahawks with 2:15 to go in the half, trailing 6-0. LaVille. Hit hard. Kelm, the middle linebacker, nailed it.
You blitz for two reasons. One reason, obviously, is to put pressure on the quarterback. Jeff Fisher's philosophy of defense is also blitz to put 8 men on the line of scrimmage to cover the gaps. This is what happens. This is not necessarily in a passing situation, but here comes everybody up towards the line of scrimmage.
Really, Seattle did a good job in picking up those blitzers, but it still resulted in only a gain of 2. 2nd and 7 for the Seahawks, down by a pair of field goals, trying to take the lead here in the first half against the Los Angeles Rams. James Jones, the setback as Williams goes to the slot. Craig with plenty of time. Williams incomplete. Todd Light on the coverage, the rookie from Notre Dame.
Todd Light finally getting into the lineup after his extended holdout. Jeff Fisher says that the one thing that he's got to work on is jumping up into people's faces and covering them one-on-one, and that's what he's learning to do. That's something he's got to work on through the offseason, and he is going to be a good corner. Seattle, obviously, we saw what happened last time they got down inside the 20. Kevin Green forced a fumble or an interception, and you see where they are, ranked 23rd in the league, only 40%.
Third and 7, 4-man rush. Craig with all day to throw, complete to Blades to the 5.
Boy, you got to give that offensive line a lot of credit.
You bet.
I mean, there's only so long a defensive secondary can cover. Those guys up front did an excellent job. Look at that. Ha. It's a good thing Robert Young wasn't an inch taller.
Blades, the former Pro Bowler, makes the grab inside the 5. It will be 1st and goal, Seahawks. Timeout, 1:32 to go, and it's 6-0, but Seattle is driving. Stay with us at halftime. Chris Berman will go all around the league, the fastest 3 minutes in television. We'll have finally a look at all the wild card matchups and the playoff picture in general. The Raiders quarterback dilemma. What do you do here? Joe will be back with his Coach of the Year, and there's Jerry Glanville, one of those Coach of the Year candidates. He'll be with us at the end of halftime. And I hope you enjoyed Wayne Fonts being with us earlier. Both have had brilliant seasons. Craig sets the throw. Touchdown, Kites! Seattle had been inept the entire first half, but an impressive drive here and an extra point away from taking the lead.
They got a total of 32 yards on 4 previous drives and only 1 first down. That time they went 80. Got 4 first downs.
John Casey, the rookie kicker out of Georgia, comes on to try the point after. He is perfect in that department this year. And Casey's point after gives the Seahawks a 7-6 lead with 1:28 to go in the half.
And you get that defense geared up. Seattle has tried to run the football, Number 87, little play action fake inside. And David Craig really has his choice. Nice throw. Just did get it in. Michael Stewart almost going to make the play. Just misjudged it a little bit. Mike Tice with a touchdown.
Tice 4 touchdown catches this year.
11 receptions. That's not a bad percentage. We knew it'd be close. It's Sunday night. It had to be close.
Was it Sunday night last week?
Well, it was actually Monday. We got into the next day. John Turlick, the defensive line coach.
Robert Young, his rookie, getting some instruction under pressure.
Instruction, advice, stern advice.
And there's Tice, seemingly been around forever in this league.
There's the difference in sidelines. If you're the guys that just gave it up, the coach is screaming at you. If you're the guy that just caught it, you casually walk around. Somebody walks up, shakes your hands, his way to go. Hey, this may be the last game for John Robinson and possibly for his staff, but these guys haven't stopped one bit.
Going to go out with a little fire, aren't they?
They're coaching, and that's, that says a lot for their professionalism also.
Casey to kick to Ray and Lang. Lang at the 8. Daniels again on special teams makes a nice stop, along with Dedrick Dodge. Take a look at the quarterback leaders in the NFL and how they finish up at the end of the regular season. Jim Kelly with 33 touchdown passes. Mark Rippon, a brilliant season. Chris Miller from Atlanta just sends him out there. A couple of great receivers to throw to. Marino with 25. Moon of Houston, 23. And all will be going with us to the Pro Bowl in Honolulu. Gentlemen, congratulations.
Well, that's a collection. What a great year. Mark Rippon really, went out in the beginning of the year, myself included. I'll put myself in that category. Had some doubts about whether he could get it done. He's more than gotten it done. He has emerged as a real leader of that football team.
Well, he was under a lot of pressure, signed a 1-year contract. He said, let's see how well I can play. He got to get a better contract this time. Del Pino thrown down at the sideline by Nesby Glasgow at the earlier interception.
Jimmy Everett doing a nice job stepping up in the pocket, making the delivery. I just don't buy all the criticism on Everett. In fact, Marino, when he didn't have a running game, struggled. Elway, when he didn't have a running game, struggled. You have to have some support.
Everett with the out, intended this time for Flipper Anderson. Brian Davis on the coverage.
Brian Davis had the coverage.
A frustrating year for Everett. Said the Raiders game was the turning point. Said everybody started losing a little confidence after that. They had the Raiders down by 7 and were driving, and Jim threw an interception in the end zone, and it was a 14-point turnaround in that game, and the Raiders eventually won it. .55 seconds to go in the half. 3rd and a yard. Del Pino lowered his head. Glasgow waiting for him. This will be close to the first down marker.
He's got it.
You've gotten much better at these.
He's got it, no question. The thing that they should do, though, is now what Jim should do with 45 seconds to go is he ought to get his people on the line of scrimmage. He ought to get a play called, get up on the line of scrimmage, because if you don't have to use a timeout, why should you? Have it ready to go in an instant.
Well, let's see. You're something like 2 for 14, which is your best year ever. Let's see how you fare on this one.
3 inches. Okay, length of a football. I am now. Okay.
2 for 50.
Not good. Well, you got to be able to pick the first up down.
Sure do.
In a 2-minute situation.
They'll have to punt it away. You saw the numbers on Everett. And Seattle has used a timeout to stop the clock with 45 seconds left.
I just think if it's third down and you're in a 2-minute, throw it. If you don't make it, you don't make it. You got to kick it anyway.
Helton comes on the field. Seattle has one timeout left. And all at once, the momentum is obviously swung in favor of the Seahawks. Chris Warren.
Mike, you talk about my percentages as a short yardage picker. How did the New York Giants finish this year?
I tell you what, you were 1 for 1, and that was an incredible prediction on your part. At the beginning of the season, Joe Theismann comes out and says the Giants, the defending Super Bowl champions, will be 8-8. And to your credit, you said it in New York, in the New York Giants house publication.
Yep, and Ray Hanley's wife, Jen, I apologize. I know you hate me for it. I didn't wish it. I'm not a soothsayer. It was one of those things that happened, and I'm sure they're going to be much better next year.
Warren waiting on the punt. Fair catch at the 36. There is a flag down on the play. You really hit that one right on.
Get lucky every now and then. Just pick one.
Boy, I hate to admit it, too. This one will go against the Rams. I mean, you're so much more fun when you're wrong.
Which is awesome. That's why we have so much fun together.
Kick. Penalty is declined. First down.
So the Seahawks turn down the penalty and will take it over 1st and 10 at their own 37. Hope you'll be with us on Christmas night. We will look back at 1991 on the Best of Sports Center. Take a look at the stars and the stories that have shaped the year in sports. I don't know if it's my memory, but when you look at a show like this, there's so much fun, and you go back and say, gee, I didn't remember
That's
that.
Right.
That was February. I can't remember that.
There were so many good ones that come up, and of course, if there's anything good, we've got it here.
And that's one of the shows where our guys have to wear tuxedos, isn't it?
I think that is the one, yeah.
They love that. Seattle after the punt. 39 seconds to go. Craig goes to work in the shotgun. Picked off. Jerry Gray had hit him right between the numbers, and he has him at the 42. Intended for Lewis Clark, but it looked more like it was intended for Jerry Gray.
The Rams came up and faked the blitz that time. The receivers read the blitz break off. David makes the throw, winds up. Great play by Jerry Gray. Right part of your screen, number 25. You'll see him move on out. He fakes it like a blitz, like he's running out, stops right in the zone, winds up with the interception.
Second interception of the night for Craig as opposed to one touchdown pass. And the Rams are back in business with 31 seconds to go in the half. Everett and Rufus Porter has him from behind. His 10th sack of the season.
They're not booing, they're roofing. They are. Here's a guy 2 weeks ago dislocates his shoulder. I was there Saturday morning over at the training facility of the Seahawks. 8 o'clock in the morning, he's in the pool trying to get his arm ready. I mean, he's really a hard-working guy, not a big rusher. I mean, you got to figure he's
only 227.
He's only, yeah, but watch the rush. Look at this. He takes Robert Jenkins, who only goes a mere 285, and just pushes him right back in Everett's lap.
Been to the Pro Bowl twice, once as a special teamer after the 88 season, then as a linebacker after the 89 season.
These guys are playing hard for their coach tonight.
Aren't they?
They really are. They're playing hard for Chuck. He and Cortez whooping it up a little bit.
Of course, the players don't get a vote, do they?
No. No, they do not. Actually, I can't say that. They do get to vote. They get to vote for 16 weeks. They go out on the field, They, in their own way, get to vote, and then at the end, it's factored in.
26 seconds to go. 2nd and 20 for the Rams. Everett short hops this one into Anderson, and Brian Davis was right there.
Yeah, if you double clutch it and then try and throw it down the middle, only bad things can happen.
Here's the top of the Christmas wish list for the fans.
Looks off to his right, sets, starts to go. Up, thought better of it. And I think just hum this one down low and hard into the ground.
Ken Behring, who bought the ball club from the Nordstrom family. It doesn't ever appear that he and Chuck Knox have ever been on exactly the same page.
I believe that there are players on the Seahawks bench that he would like to see play. Some draft choices over the last couple of years that have not gotten into the lineup. And he spent his dollars and he wants to see him work.
Everett complete, and that's caught by Jimmy Ray. The first catch of his NFL career. Dwayne Harper made the tackle. And there's his proud father, the wide receiver coach, Jimmy Ray Sr. behind John Robinson.
John, throw it to him again. Throw it to him again. Why not?
Hey, you make catches like that, they'll throw it to him a lot.
Okay, this is going to be short. It's going to be about, a half a yard short. Number 18, top of your screen, runs a deep hook pattern. Breaks it off inside, goes up, does a nice job, catches it once, catches it twice. They'll mark his forward progress. Right up around the 33.
And Zendejas will come on and try one from about 50 yards. He's hit 2 plus 40 jobs tonight. And if he doesn't miss, still in the record book as the only perfect kicker in NFL history. Tony must be thinking, each one is getting longer, guys. When do we stop so I can keep this record?
I wouldn't mind kicking 27, 28 yarders, but you keep pushing me back.
His long of the season is 50.
I'd love it. Yeah, great opportunity. Fake field goal.
He'd like it.
I don't think so. Not the way John's studying this.
Rams to take the lead from 50 with 11 seconds to go in the half. He got it. Zendejas now 17 for 17.
He's hit 10 field goals over 50 yards in his career. I'll tell you, if you get into a game, that's 11.
That's 11.
Yeah, you get into a game and you need it, and you got to be a long way away. That's not a bad guy to have around.
And he's also made 23 over the last 2 years. That's the second best ever.
And being a fellow holder, Mike Pagel takes a little shot, but does an excellent job of getting those laces pointed in the direction. The laces act as a rudder for the ball. See how they're pointed to the right, left? See how he swings them to the front? That's just a great job of holding. Well, that gives the kicker so much confidence to know that the guy is going to get the laces where you want them. I mean, you can steer the flight of the ball, and I'm convinced of that. As a holder, if you want the ball to go, if the kicker is pushing it a little right, you can point the laces and help him bring it back. It's like a golf swing. It's not the same every time you try and swing it.
Wish you were the holder for Mark Mosley when he kicked 23 in a row, which is the second longest in the history of the NFL. Kevin Butler broke it with 24.
Right. Yeah, Mark used to say to me all the time when he missed one, he said, "You missed a spot." And I used to say, "I missed a spot on the ones you made, too."
So now with 6 seconds to go, 3 Zendejas field goals have given the Rams the lead, 9-7. Little squib kick. Taken by one of the up men, and the clock running down as he gets it back to midfield, and that is the end of the first half. So all the Rams wanted to do was make sure the first half ended on that play, and it did. Our halftime score, 9-7 Rams. Right now, let's join Chris Berman. Chris?
All right, Michael, the longest 2 minutes in football just completed with the Rams leading the Seahawks 9-7, so it's time for the fastest 3 minutes in television. Playoffs on the schedule don't begin till next week, but really in the AFC they began today with the Jets game at the Miami Dolphins. The winner is in. And the Jets new kicker for the day, eating Raul Allegre. But they were eaten up on 4th down and 1. Dan Marino to pair 11, less than a minute to go. The Dolphins lead 20-17. But Shula's club is tied by a field goal late in the game. And then the biggest pass of the year, O'Brien to Rob Moore. And then eating Raul. It's good. The Jets in the playoffs. Jets. They win 23-20. Chiefs at the Raiders. Todd Marinovich started his first game. He came out smoking. Threw 3 touchdown passes, 1 to Tim Brown. But back in the saddle for the Chiefs, Steve DeBerg to J.J. Burton. Almost 300 yards for DeBerg. And the Chiefs will host the Raiders next week in the playoffs. They win today 27-21. Broncos and Chargers exchanging Christmas cards. John Freese airmailed one to Steve Atwater of the Broncos. The Pro Bowl safety makes the pick and goes 50 yards. Hey, I'll tell you what, Broncos coach Dan Reeves, take the week off. You get a bye. Denver beats San Diego 17-14. An NBA game disguised as an NFL game. Falcons against the Cowboys. Early on, Furline to Michael Irvin, and show them the ball, Mike. Show them the ball. Both teams showing the ball, scoring at will. Irvin had 10 catches. Emmett Smith, 160 yards. He wins the rushing title, and the touchdown that gave the Cowboys a 31-27 win over the Falcons. Lions at the Bills. No one's gone into Rich Stadium in 1 in 2 years. Barry Sanders didn't quite win the rushing title, but got the Lions up as he ran for 108 yards. Eddie, eat, drink, and eat, drink, and but in overtime, it was finally Eddie, eat, drink, and be merry. The Lions win at Buffalo 17-14. 2-13, Sam I Am. The boomer of you, Esiason. We can do it in the air. We can do it anywhere. Where's it been all year? It's a touchdown. It's from Esiason. And at the end, 3-13, Sam I Am. The Bengals roll the Patriots 29-7. Chuck Noll, 23rd. Is it final year for him at the Steelers? And if it was, he went out with plays like this. Bernie Kosar throws the pick. Richard Shelton all the way. The Steelers beat the Browns 17-10. Chuck, don't leave the game, please. The nasty plunge. The New Orleans Saints, with Atlanta's loss, could win their first ever NFC West at the Phoenix Cardinals. Gene Atkins, one of his 3 picks. And you think they aren't watching films of the Falcons? Watch this. Fell out on the Benny Thompson, 7 turnovers. Saints win the West. They crush the Cards. Bora, 27-3. Redskins at the Eagles. Could the Hogs hold back the best defense in football? They did give up 3 sacks today. Don't set the record, but allow only 9 all year. The Skins also don't go 15-1. They'll end 14-2 because who framed Roger Ruzek kicked a field goal? 24-22 Philly over the best team. From the best to the worst. Super Bowl II. 1-14 Colts, 2-13 Buccaneers. For a couple of plays, the Bucs looked decent. Vinny to Mark Carrier. But for the most part, this game was like this. That's why the Colts end at 1-15. The Bucs win 17-13. It was an interesting...
To Wayne Fonts.
The Joey, I love it. I can't wait to see what it's shaped like. The Rams kicking off, leading 9-7. LaVille and Warren deep. LaVille from the 7. Across the 20. Found a seam across the 30 to 33-yard line. Take a look at the halftime stats. And you'll see Seattle dormant for so long in the first half. Really came on strong after that. The Rams with 57 yards rushing. Most of the damage Seattle did. 85 yards passing behind Dave Craig. 3 interceptions in the first half. 2 by Seattle, 1 by the Rams. And the other stats, time of possession, dominated by Los Angeles as they ran it more. But Seattle takes over at its own 33. Play action by Craig. As time goes deep on the first play for Kane. And he stumbled. Todd Light was right behind him. They hit that big play earlier against the blitz.
That time it was much better coverage on Tommy Kane. Todd Light doing what he has to do on the cornerback. He's out there all by himself. Got to cover one-on-one. In the back pedal turns. Kane gives him a little shake. Light's got that speed. You can see him sort of just stay with him. And then Tommy Kane just loses his balance heading for the ball.
Light said that it's been such a frustrating year for him because he didn't lose this many games in 4 years at Notre Dame.
Didn't even come close.
John L. Williams, and that play had some lousy timing, never got outside, dumped at the 30. Now Jerry Glanville, the coach of the Atlanta Falcons, the playoff-bound Atlanta Falcons, will join us. Coach, congratulations on a great year. I know it was a tough loss for you today in a track meet, but you've had a heck of a season.
Well, really, we're very disappointed about today, but I don't think you can let that one game mar the effort of the players and the great year that they had.
Jerry, what's the one thing that you're proud of the most this year that your group accomplished?
Really, I think it's never given up. I think it's all the comeback.
That catch made by Blades, a 44-yard bomb from Craig, and we'll be back to Jerry Glanville in just a second. Let's take a look at this play again.
Brian Blades just goes up one-on-one, does an excellent job of adjusting to the ball. Darrell Henley's got him in coverage. trying to window dress a little bit. Henley's turned around, really loses sight of the ball. Blades just goes up and makes the play. Ronnie Lott had something interesting to say about Brian Blades. He said, after the Raiders played Seattle, he said, I think the two best receivers in football are Jerry Rice and Brian Blades.
Blades has really improved this season as a receiver. Went to the Pro Bowl after the '89 season. Craig quick out. Blades makes the catch inside the 20 at the 19-yard line. We'll get back to Jerry Glanville in just a second. We'll continue with you on this drive as the Seahawks have gotten inside the Rams' 20-yard line. Craig coming out firing the way he had at the end of the first half when the Seahawks got their only score.
Well, we talked about David getting on a roll, whether it's inside a game or whether it's through the course of a season, a couple of games.
Replay.
And they'll be checking to see if Blades got the feet down. Had very little of this tonight. Dave Kamansky, the replay official.
You know, last week, I thought I'd bring this up, we did not have a review of an instant replay.
1-2. No problem on the catch by Blades. Oh, mercifully, we did not have any last week.
And it was a very nice football game.
Yes,
I mean, it got a little out of hand scoring-wise, but it was a nice game.
Second down.
Play stands is called. The officials always like to hear that. Spotted inside the 20. 2nd and 3. John L. lunging forward to about the 17-yard line, needs to make about the 16. Jerry, when we talked to you earlier this year, you said you had told your ball club at the beginning of the season, guys, we're not good enough to win right now, but we don't have the time to wait, so let's go do it. Apparently they listened to you.
Well, really, we said that we would be a playoff team. We'd be a championship team. We didn't know when. We didn't know what week that would happen. But really, I'm most proud of the effort and most proud of the never-give-up attitude. We won a lot of games right in the last drive. We thought we were going to win one this week, right on the last series. We thought we won the game with 1 second left in the ball game.
Jerry, as you look back on the season, is there one game or one play in particular that you think might have ignited the ball club?
Really, I just think a lot of games, a lot of things happen. I think probably the big win was the Big Ben, the last play against the 49ers probably really changed their season and our season. The fact that we were able to sweep the 49ers and get 2 games from them changed their record and put us really in the hunt.
Jerry, if you can hang on with us for 1 second, we'll cover the field goal here by John Casey. Spot at the 25, so it's a 35-yard field goal attempt for the Georgia rookie, who's hit 24 out of 30 this year, club record. And he knocks another one through. So we've got a timeout on the field with 12:11 to go, third quarter. Seattle will kick it off now, leading 10-9 after the John Casey field goal, and Jimmy Ray and David Lang waiting inside the 5-yard line. Jerry Glanville still with us, and we'll be back to him right after this kick. High but short. They fight for it and bobble it at the 10. Lang comes up with it and brought down at the 18-yard line. Flags all over the place. Derek LaVille is down to make the tackle.
Illegal block. Number 39 on the return. Half the distance. First down.
That'll push it back inside the 10. Jerry, I think anybody that has watched the Falcons play this year, you look at your wide receivers and your cornerbacks, it is difficult to imagine 4 other guys on another team making the impact that they have had.
Well, really, we're getting ready to go indoors. You know, we're going to be playing in the Dome next year, and we've tried to become a very fast football team. And we learned that lesson when we were in Texas. When we took over in Texas, Cleveland would come into the Dome and be faster than us. When we go indoors, we want to be the fastest team in the Dome.
You also had one of your fastest guys at wide receiver today in the Cowboy game, Deion Sanders. Will we start to see Dion? Now you're into crunch time. Now it's one-game eliminations. Dion going to get a little more time in practice at wide receiver to get him ready?
Well, one thing happened there. We lost George Thomas. George got hurt last week, and for that reason, we were looking for more speed outside, and we were able to give him some plays. I thought he helped us a lot today.
Of course, you have to go play at New Orleans. The good news is you beat them there the last time you played them.
Well, that was a great ball game, and they're a good football team. We've played well down there the last 2 years. We got beat 10-7 down there last year, and then, of course, won down there this year.
2nd and 8 for the Rams right here. Flag is down on the play. Everett throws incomplete. Intended for his tight end, Damone Johnson. Darren Como on the coverage. Check out the penalty flag for you here. That was a 2nd and 8 play.
Should be illegal movement by Jackie Slater on the right side. It's starting to get a little noisy in here.
Illegal motion, number 78, offense. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Jerry, got one more question for you. I know you're tired. It's been a long day, and we really appreciate you taking the time with us. But last week, you faced Seattle, and you had some really nice things to say about Chuck Knox. What's your opinion of Chuck?
Really, I just think he's done such a great job. I think he's what pro football is all about. I know there's all kinds of rumors about him not staying in Seattle, but I think he's the type of guy that he'll be somewhere doing a good job coaching football. And he's one guy in the league that I think all the other coaches look up to. I wish him well. I know he'll end up with a good football job.
Jerry, thanks for joining us. We congratulate you on a great regular season. Good luck in the playoffs, and Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.
Take care, Coach.
That last bomb incomplete. Good defensive coverage by Dwayne Harper, and I think that sentiment that Jerry expressed about Chuck Knox, true for almost anybody who has watched him coach in the National Football League.
But he wants to coach at least 5 more years. He will. Question is where.
Rams to punt it away. Warren waiting at midfield. From the Ram 46. Flag is down. Warren inside the 20, and another flag is down. Nice return for the 2nd-year man out of Tiny Ferrum College. 29 yards. Now Jerry Markbright will sort out the multiple fouls.
Got a couple of multiples tonight. Rusty Tillman saying, hey, look, what a great job. Great job. You know, interesting thing about special team coaches, Mike. Offensive coaches deal with one aspect of the game. Defensive coaches deal with another aspect of the game. Special team coaches are the only ones that really have an opportunity to deal with almost all the players on the team. You know, the head coach talks to everybody, as well as the special teams coach. Rusty letting his guys know they did a great job.
Annually among the best special teams since he has been the coach here.
I put him on my candidates list for head coaches.
Why not?
Enough jobs out there.
Arthur?
We have an illegal man downfield, number 55 on the kicking team. That penalty is declined. We have a face mask foul, personal, half the distance to the goal.
And no indication as to who committed that foul, but it is a big one because it will put the Seahawks inside the 10-yard line.
Number 27 on the face mask.
There it is. He's hanging on. And he's still hanging on. That's what caused the 15 instead of 5. He had his hand on it. When he got wrapped around, he was still hanging on.
Defensive back Sammy Lilly. So it is 1st and goal for the Seahawks. John L. on the call. Inside the 5 to the 1. Pat Carroll saved the touchdown. Oh, that was student body right. John Robinson called that a lot in his career.
And when you go student body right, you have to have a good lead blocker. Watch number 30, James Jones. Goes in motion just outside the tight end. Does a nice job of squaring up on the linebacker. Gets his head in. Paul Butcher runs him out of the play. John L. cuts up inside.
2nd and goal from the 1. In these situations, the Rams are next to last in the NFL. 83% of the time, the other team scores. And the Seahawks look to be in good shape here. John L. stacked up that time. The first man to hit him was Frank Stamms, number 50, the 3rd-year man out of Notre Dame.
You know, Mike, the Seahawks last time down here ran a play-action fake. They actually had Jones open and Mike Tyson in the end zone. I got to believe if you line up in that same formation, the Rams are going to be up in the gaps. You're going to have 11 people within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage. You run the play action again. You're going to have a snow puppy sitting back there.
A snow puppy?
That's something you get for Christmas.
That's another one of those football terms.
That's another football term. Little tiny snow puppy. Really cute little thing at the touchdown.
Without Derek Fenner, who had 14 rushing touchdowns a year ago, they don't run well down here. Jones side, touchdown.
There's a snow puppy.
James Jones with his 2nd touchdown since 1986.
James Jones blocked for John L. last time. John L. says, follow me, I'll return the favor. Nice kick-out block. Nice job on Michael Stewart to give him a lane to get into the end zone. Right-hand part of your screen. Look at him get down low. You got to be kidding. They're not reviewing this, are they?
Yes, they are.
Why? The guy landed in the end zone.
Take a look at it.
Why? What are you looking at? His knees are 4 feet off the ground.
That's a touchdown, folks.
Okay. Just got to... Nope.
I don't mind this.
If
they think they saw something, I don't mind them delaying it 15, 20 seconds to make sure. Anything beyond that, I got a problem.
There have been a lot of UFO sightings, too, Mike. A lot of people think they've seen
I believe in those, too.
Okay, fine.
You know me, I'll believe in anything.
Yep.
And now here comes the call down to Jerry Markbright.
After further review, the play stands. First down.
And it is a touchdown, and Casey will come on for the point after. James Jones just said, thank you. I get one of these every 3 or 4 years, whether I need it or not. Don't take it away. (17-9) as Casey drills it through. As you watch James Jones touchdown run. Seattle 17-9 after trailing at 6-0. We have 9:10 to go in the 3rd quarter. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann with you. Here's the playoff picture as it stands. The Raiders have already lost twice to the Chiefs. They have to go to Kansas City for the wild card game. And the Jets will visit the Oilers after their dramatic victory today over Miami that got them in the playoffs. The Oilers won the regular season meeting, and Buffalo and Denver will get a week's rest, a chance to heal, and find out who they get to play. Lang and Ray waiting deep for the Rams, and the Seahawks fans have finally gotten into this one after a very quiet first half. Ray at the 4. Swarmed at the 12.
Rusty Tillman cheering his troops on. You know, that's a tough thing. I'll tell you a tough thing, too, is we talked about John Robinson and Chuck Knox's future. How about the future of the men who are the assistant coaches? Sure. I think that's a tougher situation because you just don't know. You got to pick your family up. Your kids are in school. That's tough.
And these are guys that are not making big money. Cleveland Garrett. hurdles forward to about the 16-yard line.
Mike, in a situation like this is where the fans in the dome make a big difference. We saw Jackie Slater jump off sides last time. He's at the tackle position. No matter how loud Jim Everett gets, the fans can drown out the signals. He has to keep one eye on the ball and one eye on Jacob Green on the outside. So what happens is he has to see the ball snap, then find the rusher and get his hands on him. No easy task.
Cleveland, Gary, and Buford McGee in the backfield on 2nd and 6. Loose ball. Seahawks have it.
This has been a problem all year for the Rams. Ball comes up a little bit early. Everett wasn't ready. Newberry brought it up. Jim Everett was looking over the defense. It was so loud you couldn't tell.
Newberry moved from guard to center. Last week, John Robinson was asked why they haven't been able to get it done. And Jim Everett said, well, we're working on it. And Robinson said, hey, we got one more week to go in the year. You better get it straight. And Doug Smith, the former center, the 6-time Pro Bowler, out of a job this year. It has been all Seattle lately. Here's Jones behind John L. Inside the 15 to the 13. Brought down by Carl Wilson and Alvin Wright.
And one of the big problems from training camp, obviously, was the holdout of Tom Newberry. That's why they delayed putting in the shotgun this year, because he wasn't there. Doug Smith, the backup, 14 years in the league. John Robinson looking on. He can't play. I mean, he's not seeing anything different than he's seen all year long. There's no new sights out there for him.
Second and 4, Jones on the toss the other way. Lunges to the 5. 6 times this year, Everett has fumbled the snap from Newberry, and really that's one of those things that falls in the inexcusable category.
Absolutely. It's the thing you work on from the first day of training camp. Excellent surge by the offensive line. Make the pitch, Jones out front. Travis McNeil kicking out. He loves to spend a lot of time in the air. That's that Randall Cunningham theory. You can't get your spikes caught in the ground when you're in the air. And he's right.
Pat Terrell threw a shoulder at him rather than trying to tackle him and let him go another 2 yards. 1st and goal. John L. This play has worked very well, but not this time. Newman waiting for him and made the tackle for a loss of 2. You can only go to the well so often.
You saw a great block on Paul Butcher, number 59, the last time out by John L. Now Jones gets his chance at him. Tries to kick it out. Same play they ran before, different person. Does a good job. Keeps his outside position, gets help from the guys inside. There he is fighting them off. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Newman, we talked about him, big play guy making the play.
Of course, the theory behind it, if it works, you keep doing it until they force you not to.
I'd say they forced it. Now it's time to go someplace else.
2nd and goal from the 6. Nope. Jones. Touchdown. Apparently they liked it enough to try it one more time.
Well, they decided to go the other way. Number 86, Travis McNeil, starts in, goes back. His turn to kick out on Paul Butcher. Keeps running him back. What a great job he does, just shielding him. James Jones takes the pitch, looks upfield. There's no doubt he knows where he's going. He plants that outside foot. Now it's, I'm up the field and I'm in.
Casey for the point after, and once it looked like the Rams had, and that one's no good. Snap hooked it to the left. But it's 23-9, the Seahawks. After being down 6-0, they've outscored them 23-3. 51 to go, third period. Seattle now in control, 23-9 over the Los Angeles Rams.
Running backs love to have an alley to head towards the goal line with. That time, James Jones had a perfect alley to move on up.
Run that play 4 or 5 times. We'll take a look at it in a minute right after the kickoff. Sometimes Jones the lead blocker, other times John L. Williams. Either way, it's been very successful. Lang drifting back toward the goal line into the end zone, and he'll keep it there. The Rams will take over at the 20.
Take a look at that last play. You see John L. Williams leading the block. Get right into here, and if we freeze it right there, you see the kick out here by McNeil, the kick out here, or turn in by John L. They create this lane. Jones turns it and just heads right towards the goal line. He's got his lane. He's got his shoulders upfield. That's what you're looking for. Defensively, one of the big problems the Rams have had that they wanted to work on was getting physical. That time, they just got pushed back into the end zone.
Ellard on the quick out, and Brian Davis wrapped him up in a hurry. Davis has had a fine game in the Seattle secondary, and once again, the Seattle defense is playing outstanding football.
I think the Rams offensively just have to come out and put it up every time, which is not the situation you want to put Jim Everett in, but that's the chance they have, the best chance they have of winning tonight.
Ellard, 3 catches, 42 yards. Ernie Zampisi, the passing guru.
They'll break those pencils if he's not careful.
Everett over the middle. McGee lunges across the 35 to about the 37. Has the first down. Como and Robinson combined on the tackle.
Robinson made the tackle.
Field position in the second half, always an important statistic, and the Rams have been at their own 13 on the average.
Percentages just are not in your favor to go 87 yards with drive.
On 1st and 10, Marcus Dupree lowers the head, gets near the 40. Stopped by Cortez Kennedy. Dupree goes around 225. Rufus Porter aggravates a shoulder injury and is out. Of course, Rams fans watching this running attack, the first time since 69-70 that they have not had a 1,000-yard rushing back 2 years in a row. And one of the reasons that John Robinson announced his resignation, that's his bread and butter. Everett to throw, looking for Ellard, and overthrown. Free safety Eugene Robinson was closing in a hurry. Of course, the Eric Dickerson trade was a situation where they gave up on a 1,000-yard runner. And here's what they got in return. Aaron Cox in '88, the first-round pick. He's injured tonight or on the inactive list. And Fred Strickland, 1988. Frank Stamms in 1989 in the second round. Really not impact players. Greg Bell had a couple of good years, acquired from the Bills in that trade. Eventually traded to the Raiders. Gaston Green, Cleveland Gary, Darrell Henley. Green has gone on to great success in Denver.
But he just didn't fit into the type of offense that they had in Los Angeles.
Everett dumps it to McGee. Makes his second catch and has the first down. What really happens is that some fans don't understand when you have certain players, and they don't understand that they don't fit a system. In John Robinson's system of running the football, you need a guy who's 225, 230 in order to take the beating if you get it 25, 30 times a game.
And the deal to send Gaston Green to Denver, when I talked to John Elway earlier this year, said the best thing ever happened to him. It gave the Denver Broncos a legitimate home run guy in the backfield besides John Elway.
Of course, here's what happened since the Dickerson trade. We've only had 1,600-yard rushing games since then. Everett dumps it again, this time to Dupree. Como and Wooden bring him down. And you must take advantage of your opportunities. They got a lot of draft choices in the Dickerson deal, and they did not get impact players in return in the draft.
You know, you don't always need impact players, Mike. You need guys who you can bring along and fill that void for. You got to get one or two. I agree with you. I agree with you, but if you're going to get that many players, you have to have guys that are going to play for you 7, 8 years and fill in.
Well, you have to either get impact players or get a lot of those guys, and they really got neither. Dupree gets to the 42.
Yeah, you take a look at obviously talk about players that have been dealt. The Herschel Walker deal, Dallas dealt him, and they got the running back they needed in Emmitt Smith to make big plays for him.
Number 69 is an eligible receiver.
69, Jeff Pahoka, backup offensive lineman, being announced as an eligible receiver on this play on 3rd and 1. Dupree hit in the backfield. Terry Wooden, the second-year man out of Syracuse, got him.
Well, you know, third downs to me are attitudes. I mean, it's you against him. It's attitude. You know there's going to be a bunch of guys at the line of scrimmage. They have to give you a crease, and you have to go get it as a running back. The Rams tonight twice on 3rd down have been closed down.
No linebacker has led this team in tackles since Fred Young did it in 1987, and Dupree shaken up on the play. 5 carries, 13 yards for Dupree.
Not only does Terry Wooden tackle him, but he steps on his ankle.
Insult to injury.
Last year, without Cortez Kennedy, when he didn't play, the 3 leading tacklers on Seattle's defense were secondary people. Since they got Cortez in the lineup, linebackers have become their leading tackler. That tells you how important this one man is.
They will go for it on 4th and 2. Everett throws. Incomplete. Pat Carter couldn't hold it. And you just saw John Robinson obliquely refer to Carter being able to hold on to the ball. ESPN's Thrifty Car Rental Bowl Week begins next Sunday night. At 8 o'clock, you'll see Air Force against Mississippi State. It's an 8 o'clock start. It continues the following night with the Thrifty Car Rental Holiday Bowl at 8 o'clock. Number 7 Iowa will face Brigham Young. And then on Wednesday, January 1st in the morning, the Peach Bowl, number 12 East Carolina and number 21 North Carolina State. Seattle in control, takes over after the failed 4th down attempt. And time running out here in the 3rd quarter. And John Robinson has about 15 minutes of football left in his Los Angeles Ram career, announcing his retirement earlier this week. We've talked, of course, quite a bit about Chuck Knox and John Robinson. He will either go back to coaching, remain in football in some other capacity, or get into broadcasting, and I think he would succeed in any venue. The kind of a guy that all of us root for. A very, very nice man and an excellent coach.
I got one for you. Bill Parcells leaves to take the Green Bay job. John Robinson goes in to work and does an excellent job at NBC.
Blades makes the catch.
Bill Parcells will go up to Green Bay. I think Bill Parcells done a terrific job transitioning into television this year. Magnificent job, but I also think that it's a good place for him to go. He's a cold weather type of coach, constructs his teams that way. We saw what he did with the Giants, cold weather city. Excellent job. I think he could do the same thing up in Green Bay.
Chuck Knox, of course, rumored to be one of the 2 leading candidates to go to the Los Angeles Rams and take over for John Robinson. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Our score, 23-9. Period of football to go from the Kingdome in Seattle, where Seattle leading at 23-9. We speculated, of course, about John Robinson and his future. We asked him if coaching is in that future.
I'm not sure. I mean, that's a decision that I need to make sure I have that fire burning in my belly to do before I coach again, because I want it to be fun. I want to say about myself that the game is no worse for me having been in it, hopefully a little better, and that I had fun doing it. And in order to have fun doing it, you got to have a passion for playing.
And you can't be 3-13. That takes the fun out of it and puts the fire out too.
Yeah.
Will he come back and coach?
It takes the passion. I don't believe John will. I think the flame has gone out, or else the pilot light's down real low. I think that, like I said, I think he has a career elsewhere. He's done an awful lot in this game, gotten to 2 NFC championship games. I think we've seen John Robinson's coaching career come to an end, and the game's going to miss him.
Seattle keeping it on the ground with Jones down to the 41, and we've got a fight. Cortez Kennedy, Mike Charles going at it with Andy Heck.
Kevin Green at 250 is trying to play down lineman in Jeff Fisher's new concept. He's number 91. Ronnie Lee is number 63. And what you get is basically a takedown, a pin, and however many points you get awarded in wrestling for that. But he's got to move around. He cannot line up where offensive tackles can draw a bead on him and get in between him and the ball carrier.
Gain of 4 on the last play. It will be 2nd and 6. Seahawks already leading by 2 touchdowns. And bidding for more here. John L. the single setback. Williams splits the tackle, lowers his head, picks up a couple. It will be about 3rd and 2. Todd Light up from the corner, and another fight. This one is Ronnie Lee and Fred Strickland. And Jerry Gray steps in front of Mike Tice, and he gets a little shove.
I'll tell you, now the officials are going to have to work it out for him. You got 2 groups of guys who are going to do nothing for the next 6 months, but look at the playoffs and think about their future and wonder where they're going to be. And both sets are playing now not to get hurt because you just don't want to. Something you have to be careful of.
And all the year's frustration beginning to come out for both clubs. 3rd and 2. Clock running, nearing 14 minutes left in the game. Rams show blitz, but don't come. But all this pressure on Craig. He got away somehow. Now hit from behind and fumble the ball. The Rams have it. The recovery made by David Rocker. Kevin Green knocked it loose. And Craig never saw it.
And David Craig now holds, well, he held the record in the National Football League with 107 fumbles. He's added to that with his 108. Does a nice job of slipping the rush. I mean, really steps up, does a good job from our reverse angle. See him make the tackle miss. Now he's trying to look downfield. I had no idea Kevin Green was continuing his relentless pursuit. Now, Kevin Green, you have to remember too, Mike, for the last couple of days has been laid up with the flu.
That's right.
I mean, he's playing on pure adrenaline out there tonight. And David Craig, that's a look of disgust.
108 career fumbles.
And that's a record he will not want anybody to remember nor be proud of.
He's waiting for somebody to break it. 13:41 left in the game. Back in him was the injured Ram, been brought to the sideline. Got the jersey off and working on it. Rams go back to work. Looking for Anderson. Harper knocks it away. And then it's picked up by James Jefferson. Excuse me, Blackman finally got it. A return of 30. The Rams tried to get 7 back in a hurry, and it backfired. Ball underthrown by Everett.
Dwayne Harper, number 29, is all over Flipper Anderson. The ball comes up a little bit short. Robert Blackman. Everett puts this one up flat. Well, you just can't get it into guys. You got to put a little arc under it. That's what happens. It comes up short, winds up in Blackman's hands.
Career-high interception year for Jim Everett. Craig on the toss to Jones. Got to the 45-yard line.
Well, this season can't get over quick enough for that guy. 12 attempts, 27 attempts, 2 INTs, 118 yards.
And that's 20 interceptions on the season.
Jim Everett works as hard as anybody, studies as hard, wants to be as good as he can be, and just really has tried to take all the burden on his shoulders, tried to be the man to lead it, and you just can't do this alone. I mean, it takes everybody playing hard. You can't do it alone.
And John Robinson said he was really trying to make plays that he didn't even have to make, just trying to force things. Here comes the blitz. Craig unloads, Blades can't get there. Light was beaten by a step, and Craig upset that he didn't hit that one.
Oh, just give me it back. Oh, just give me it back, he said. What happens on this one is everybody tries to, I don't understand it. If you got a guy going down the field, just hang it up, loop it up. Here it is, they're all coming. You got one-on-one right here. Put the ball in the air with some arc. Don't throw it flat. That's what he does. You know you got everybody in your face. He's up, just hang it up, let him run. If he catches it, so what? It's a 30-yard, it may not be a touchdown, but it's a completion. The defensive back has no chance. He's not even looking back.
3rd and 9 now for Seattle, looking for the points that would put this away. They're up by 14. High snap, Craig got it back. Complete for a first down, Tommy Kane. Sammy Lilly on the coverage, but it's a gain of 19.
That was a nice little touch pass. I'll tell you, David Craig, he's good. You know, he doesn't get, there's no fanfare. He's good. He does a nice job of getting this one up in the air a little bit, lays it right out front. He's excellent for the system that he works in. Utilizes his personnel, not the most mobile of guys.
We always talk about players coming down here from Canada. If he went to Canada with his touch, with that wide field, you have the feeling that he could get thousands of yards up there.
I don't think so, Mike. I think the mobility factor is more important than being able to throw it with touch up north.
Jones. Wright has him as he got down to about the 33-yard line. Well, you may make a good point with, of course, with Flutie going up there and having
done a great job out in Vancouver, British Columbia. I don't think he'll never come back and play in this league. And we hope that there's a guy right here, Jackie Slater, does come back one more year. Like we said, 16 years in this league, still has another couple left, I'm sure. Would certainly not want to leave the game on this note. Of course, Jacob Green, the guy that he lines up across from so often, so many times, 12 years. Got to wonder if he might wind up on Plan B. Got quite a few guys in their 30s on that Seattle football team, the 30-something group.
John L. on the toss. Flag is down, and this will be a hold against the Rams. I mean, against the Seahawks, and they'll bring this one back.
They're going to call that on Warren Wheat, number 74. Hooking, grabbing, and pulling.
Did it in front of us in a sellout crowd of 64,000.
Yeah, more importantly, the guys with the flags.
Some are tough to miss, and that was one of them. Seahawks have done a good job.
We have 2 fouls on the play. Holding number 30 offense, penalty declined. Holding number 74 offense, accepted. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Oh, we have a pick. See, that's not fair. Offensive linemen have a legitimate gripe. You know, they could have given the one to James Jones. They didn't have to pick on the offensive lineman. Offensive linemen say all the time, the only time we get our name mentioned is if we're caught holding.
Well, to Warren Wheat's credit, that was a much better hold.
That's true.
It was a beauty.
That was a good knock.
2nd and 17. Craig floats this one, almost intercepted off the hands of Fred Strickland. Fred will never be a two-way player. I don't think. They'll never put him in a wideout.
David pulls the trigger. You talk about trying to aim a ball. Instead of going back and throwing a rhythm, he starts it forward, and then he just pulls the trigger back. You know what he saw? He saw McNeil go underneath, and then he saw the receiver up top, and he got caught in the middle. He said, well, no, I don't want to throw it. Yeah, no. And I'm going to throw it in between the two of them.
3rd and 17. He'll go deep this time. And Chadwick couldn't run under it against double coverage. Light was back there in excellent shape.
You know, I think they decided at halftime, Mike, hey, we're not going to try. We'll pound it and pound it. The heck with the medium range stuff. John Becker, the offensive coordinator, said to his offense, let's try and go up top. If they want to bring 8 people to the line of scrimmage, let's see if we can take advantage of it and go up top.
Seahawks just can't put the Rams away, and with their wide receivers and with Everett, they are still a threat to score some points, and they're down by 2 touchdowns with 10:35 left to go in the game. Not that they have shown that ability since the first quarter. Marcus Dupree being taken to the locker room. His season is done. Ankle injury on the 4th down attempt. You just have to wonder what this young man would have done in professional football had he not suffered that devastating knee injury. Before that, he was absolutely unbelievable in the combination of power and speed. Mike Pagel has checked in at quarterback, or will come in at quarterback, we are told. When the Rams get the ball back and Everett is gone, we will check on his physical condition. Sky high, fair catch signaled for and made at the 20. A 23-yard punt. Pagel readies himself for the action, and we'll be back in a moment. Jim Everett not happy. He has been benched. We understand he is not hurt. 12 out of 27, 118 yards, 2 interceptions. Mike Pagel will take over.
I've been there. I've stood in that man's shoes, and I'll tell you what's going on. There's so many emotions going on inside of him. Anger, frustration. You know, he's going to watch that clock. 10 minutes and 26 seconds are going to be the longest 10 minutes and 26 seconds of his life.
Cleveland Gary bursts through a hole up to about the 28, takes the handoff from Pagel.
If there's any consolation for Jimmy, though, there's going to be a tomorrow. Going to be a new coach there. It's a new season, and they'll be back in the mini camps and meetings in a couple of months, and he'll have a chance to regroup and start it over. He's a great young quarterback, got a great future, just has to have some help around him.
Well, he told us last night that he was upset because they never really settled on a philosophy. Things just went back and forth, especially after they couldn't dominate the ground the way they used to. And this play will come back. No, it won't. It is a first down. No penalty flag. Darren Como made the tackle. Nine minutes, 29 seconds to go in the game. The numbers on Pagel for the season. Dumps it to McGee. And McGee at the 38. With that new coaching regime taking over next year for the Rams, we asked Jim Everett if he would like to have a specific quarterback coach.
I think anybody that's in any profession, be it football, baseball, not sports, let's say something else, would always like to have somebody that they could either talk to or have a coach that they would respect for their position, whatever field that they might be into. I have not had that. Hopefully, with the successor of John Robinson, that I will be provided a coach, and I think it's something that I would like to have.
Pagel's last pass to Anderson incomplete. You made a great point last night, Joe, when we were talking to Jim Everett, that it is arguably the most important position on a football team, and yet not every team has a quarterback coach.
I think it's the worst decisions management can make, not having quarterback coaches. Jim Everett certainly has all the talent. He's been to close to the big game. He's been in NFC championship games. He has the ability. He just needs somebody to help him over the edge. Those tough moments in a game and in practice when you want to talk to somebody, whether they give you a good swift kick in the butt or they walk up and pat you on the back and say, don't worry about it, there'll be another day.
2 yards short of a first down, and they'll go for it.
And that's a very lonely position.
Yeah.
You know, you get all the accolades, but man, when it comes down on you, it comes down hard.
John Robinson's not going to go out in his last game punting. 4th and about 2, and they'll go for it just outside their own 40. I like it. 8:11 to go in the game. To keep the drive alive, and Pagel hits it. Carter makes the catch at midfield.
I almost saw a smile. I think I almost saw a little bit of a smile.
That may take more than a first down.
Well, one of the real class acts in this game. Football's going to lose with John Robinson leaving. Nice little move by Carter. Inside, outside on Blackman. Good throw by Mike Pagel. Hey, look! Look! Yes! Yes, I did see one. I'll be darned.
Something finally worked, John. Get about 5 more on the ground down to the Seattle 45. The Rams need 2 scores, trailing by 14 points.
They'll go in and score. Kick an onside kick. Recover the onside kick. Go in and score. We got OT. Baby. OT, baby. OT, baby.
Most the Rams have scored in the 4th quarter this year was against Atlanta when they got 14. They need to match that or beat it right here. Bryant with pressure. Pagel got away and throws. Actually threw it to Dwayne Harper, who couldn't catch it. Harper nearly had his 5th interception.
Pagel showing that he has mobility. Jacob Bryant on the outside. Cortez Kennedy can't quite get him. Boy, sometimes you see things and they disappear in a hurry.
The guy was open before he threw it, and Tom Catlin trying to get his troops to stop this drive. 3rd and 5. And the Rams will take a timeout with 6:46 left to go in the game. They're down by 14. We're at the Kingdome in Seattle with 6:46 to go in the season for both of these ball clubs. Seattle leading it by 14 points. Rams have the ball at the Seahawks 45. 3rd and 5 to draw to Gary. And he is very, very close. Appears to be just short with the spot.
I concur.
I thought I'd get that in there before he made another mistake.
I concur with you. He's about 2 inches short.
Of course, he went for it earlier on this drive in his own territory, and sure to go for it again.
69 is an eligible receiver. 69 is eligible.
Once again announcing that Jeff Paholka, offensive lineman, is an eligible receiver on this play. Some receiver at 6'2", 298. On 4th down, 1 out of 2 tonight. Gary has it. And brought down as he reached the 36-yard line by Rod Stevens. Tomorrow's headlines brought to you by Levi's. And the Jets make the playoffs. Emmitt Smith, 160 yards as the Cowboys beat the Falcons in a track meet. The Lions knock off the Buffalo Bills, who were just tuning it up for the playoffs. J.J. Burton, a huge day for the Chiefs. The Saints win the NFC West title. It took a lot longer than they thought it would. Broncos defense had 4 turnovers today. Pagel in the flat to Gary. And Gary stays in bounds and is brought down to 33 and appears to be injured. Well, this has been a good drive for the Rams, but they need 2 touchdowns, and it's torn a lot off the clock.
You just can't have the nickel and dime. Seattle doing exactly what they have to do defensively, giving them an opportunity to catch the 6-7 yard passes and then closing on and tackling them, just like a running play.
Lonely figure of Jim Everett. Dumps it again, this time incomplete to Buford McGee. We finally have the playoff picture worked out for you, and the wild card games in the NFC. The Cowboys against the Lions. If the Bears win tomorrow night, that will be the matchup there. Cowboys against the Bears if the Bears lose tomorrow night in their final game against the 49ers. This one is set. The Falcons against the Saints, each one in the other's building. Washington, of course, waiting to find out who is going to end up in their role, in their road to a potential Super Bowl berth. And, of course, the Lions standing by to see how they'll end up in it. Blackman knocks this one down. The pass intended for Damone Johnson. And it will bring up a 4th and 6 situation. Clock stopped with 4:39 to go. Of course, it would make it a little bit easier for both of these coaches who have suffered this year to end with a win, but it's obviously not going to happen for both.
Well, John Robinson had a suggestion for Chuck Knox. He says, why don't we play this thing Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. in the parking lot and get it over with? Chuck said it was all right with him, but we wouldn't let him out of it.
4th and 6. The Rams' chances riding here. Hagel throws incomplete, intended for Anderson. Brian Davis on the coverage. And that's that. 14-play drive that came up empty.
Pass intended for Jimmy Ray.
Hagel trying to go to his left. Now remember, the Rams play on grass. And you see what happens. Jimmy Ray loses his footing, winds up just managing to get barely a hand on the ball and knock it away before it's picked off by Brian Davis.
Well, how about some credit for the Seahawks defense? I mean, here's a situation where they're obviously playing for nothing. They're out of the playoffs, but they do want to give Chuck Knox an early Christmas present, his going away gift, if it turns out that way.
They also have something at stake. Seattle allowed 282 points in 1984. So far, they've only allowed 261, so they're working on a franchise record defensively.
Fred Strickland with a big gambling play and picks off James Jones in the backfield. Tom Catlin, of course, the defensive coordinator, who has always had fine defensive efforts here in Seattle under Chuck Knox. And before that with the Rams.
Before we close, too, send our best along to Will McDonough, who has had, you know, NBC's a tough place. Bill Parcells, Paul McGuire, Will McDonough, all having heart problems. Terry, what are you doing to him?
There's the report card. Doesn't look good for the offense. Maybe it's something in the water cooler.
No.
Rams may have jumped offside on that one, and Jones crosses the 25 to about the 27.
Well, you just want to get through this one now where you don't get a major fight if you're a referee. Nobody gets injured. Everybody leaves the building, and we start over next year. That's what everybody's hoping for.
3:39 to go. The penalty will go against the Rams.
Offside, number 92, defense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
David Rocker out of Auburn was offside. Well, you're not going to get your wish this year. Soon, maybe. And they have had several under Chuck Knox, and that may come to fruition there. Goodbye. It will be decided soon. John L. Nice run back against the grain out to the 37. Here's what Chuck Knox had to say when we asked him about the future of his coaching here in Seattle.
I want to coach in the National Football League, which I've been doing for a long time, and if it's here in Seattle, fine, and if it isn't, we'll take a look around and see what our options are.
Tom Flores, the president and general manager, also non-committal about this. There had been rumors that he might end up as the head coach. He stopped, there's Ken Behring, the owner, but he stopped in the booth earlier tonight, and I said, Tom, any chance they'll get you back down on the field? And he just stared at me for about 20 seconds and said, Merry Christmas, and walked out. So he's not going back.
I don't think he's going back, and I think there is going to be a change here. Like I said, it's a tough call because I think Chuck Knox has done a fabulous job with this football team year in and year out. He's had them in contention. You still win with players. And, you know, it's just really a philosophy. Ken Behring wants to see some of the younger guys play, and Chuck has been around a long time and knows how to win.
And I think there was a consensus last year that the Seahawks may have had certainly one of the 3 worst groups of personnel in the National Football League, and Chuck Knox had them competitive. He has never had great players here. 3rd and 5. Clock at 3:27. And Craig will go to the shotgun. John L. Blocking in front. He will not get the first down. Tripped up short of the 40. Robert Young made the stop. Of course, you get Chuck Knox, you win. The only coach to ever take 3 teams to divisional titles. He did it with the Rams, the Bills, and the Seahawks. Ended up with the Bills with only a .500 record, because usually when you take over a franchise, you have a couple of losing seasons early, and that affects your overall record.
It takes you a while to not only get your people in, but to get your coaching staff familiar with the people that are there. And there is an adjustment period. You have to give a guy a grace period. And we're looking at almost 7, 8 jobs in the National Football League that'll be open. It'll be a record year for changes.
Rams have stopped the clock with a timeout.
Some of the names, I think, Dick Corey in New England, Richie Pettibone in Washington, Mike Holmgren in, of course, San Francisco, Teddy Marchibroda in Buffalo, Dennis Erickson out of Miami, Dennis Green out of Stanford, Mike White with the Raiders. There's a fairly large number, and I talked to Jay Ziegler with the Los Angeles Rams. He said they have a long list. They don't have a short list. They got a long list they're going to look at.
Rams may be ready to go for the block here. 10 men on the line of scrimmage to come after Tootin. They come, but they don't get there. And Tootin with a beautiful kick. Henley all the way back to the 9. And he's down at the 22. 13-yard return after a beautiful 51-yard kick from Tootin, and they were coming after him. We invite everybody to join us from Honolulu.
Like we talked about the new additions that Marv Cook from New England. Congratulations to him. Well-deserved. Al Smith we mentioned. Of course, Gil Byrd finally getting the recognition at corner.
That's right.
Then you have the 3 linebackers from the New Orleans Saints. Yep. And in truth, all 4 of them should have gone. Ricky Jackson certainly deserves to be there as well.
And the Eagles front.
Yep.
Pagel dumps it off to McGee. And McGee knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line. We'll take a look at some of the starters who will be in the Honolulu Pro Bowl for you. Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Christian Okoye. Boy, you start drooling at the thought of getting these guys together to play someone other than another all-star team.
Give me one snap against the world with them.
And happy to see that so many of the Houston Oilers made it were recognized this year. AFC linebackers, Bennett and Thomas, and the specialist. Jager and Gossett both had great years. Tasker, of course, as the special teamer. A flag is down, pass incomplete, and we're down to 250.
Timmy Brown game. Coming back this year, doing a great job as a kick returner.
Motion against Los Angeles. And the NFC starters going to the Pro Bowl this year voted in. Rippon, who just had a superlative season. Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith. Michael Irvin, this may be one of the... Here's Jerry Markwright's call. Irvin may have had one of the best years as a receiver of anybody I've ever seen.
He is now, in my opinion, the prototype receiver in the National Football League. Big, strong, has a sense, has a flair about him. I mean, you get the ball around him, he's going to make a play. He has great body position, does it all. There's the rest of them. Chip Lohmiller, kick it out of a county. Rich Camarillo.
Pagel throws for Anderson. Davis on the coverage, incomplete. Buford McGee comes up and gives John Robinson a hug.
You know, I think he's sort of, you know, they want to do it in a subtle way. You know, football, they're funny. Football players are funny that way. You hate to walk up and do that, but you want to because you care so much for the man.
Well, he's a class act. He always has been, and I'm sure he will find that fire to do something, either go back to coaching or something else that's close to football. Again, intended for Anderson and incomplete.
You know, the thing he's going to walk away from this season, in the beginning of the year, I had a chance to sit with him in training camp, and he said he was going to get back. They had a great work ethic. He got back to more physical football, really felt like he had the answer to it, and was really fired up. And I think he's going to leave the game with a question as to why. What happened and why?
Well, I think that's a frustrating part about this game, is when you lose, you wonder if you have done everything possible or if other factors controlled what you did. Williams, or excuse me, Chris Warren on the punt return. Knocked out of bounds in Rams territory. 13-yard return after a 38-yard punt. And the Seahawks get a chance to celebrate a little bit. Their record will go to 7-9. Of course, they missed the playoff.
Jackie Slater, 78, sitting over there. Jenkins, 72. There's no celebration in LA land. We had a chance to visit with Chuck Knox. We asked him about winning. He says, well, winning this game certainly isn't going to make up for the season, but it's going to make the Christmas turkey taste a lot better, I can tell you that.
For the Rams, this was just another part on a turkey of the season. Cortez Kennedy, who has a bright future in this league.
He's going to be something coming up. I mean, he really is going to be some kind of a football player, and this man has been something. Got himself an interception this year, 6 sacks, 12 years in the game.
Everett and Pagel on the sideline as we hit the 2-minute warning from Seattle. It's 23-9. Taking off the accoutrements of battle with 2 minutes left to go.
Accoutrements?
Thought I'd throw that in. You don't think this game is over? That's press row. They're gone.
There must be a scoop somewhere. They all ran to the phones.
Or a free meal.
I mean, look at it. It's like they left. Their stuff's still there. Congratulations to Tony Zendejas setting a record.
Seahawks ball at the 42, 2nd and 5. Jones has the first down and more as he cuts it back down to the 21-yard line. Coming up right after our telecast, Sports Center, Bill Patrick and Dan Patrick standing by to bring you all the action. The Jets-Dolphins game. Charles Barkley busted in a big fight in a restaurant, and the Sunday night conversation with Mike Ditka. The softer side, yes, he does have one. That's with Bill Patrick and Dan Patrick, and then NFL Prime Time. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, Robin Roberts will be along. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy the conversation with Ditka. He is really an interesting man. One of the few guys I've ever seen who promised to change his personality and did it.
And in a tough game. I mean, the game is such a way that there's a lot of pressure on you, and he still manages to change from that violent man we saw on the sidelines to the guy who can just control himself. His football team's been better for it, too.
And all Seattle has to do now is kneel down, and the season will be over, and victory will be theirs. Zendejas, 16 out of 16, and make it 17 out of 17. The only kicker in NFL history to make every field goal he ever attempted. And tonight was his toughest. He had 3 over 40, and he did get a break. One of them hit the upright and kicked through, so Zendejas goes into the NFL record book. 44, 46, and 50 yards tonight. The crowd booing because they wanted to see another one, and look at the celebration for Chuck Knox as his players swarm over him at the end of the game.
That goes to tell you how much respect these men have for their respective coaches. You saw on the sidelines John getting his from his guys. These two men will shake hands for the last time in these uniforms.
An emotional time. Yeah.
They're tears, folks. Maybe men, but they're boys inside. Both these men are a credit to the game, and wherever they wind up, He'll be a credit to
And
him.
I think more than anything, that tells Chuck Knox that he knows he is not going to be coaching in Seattle anymore. Once again, the final score, the Seahawks 23, the Rams 9. For Joe Theismann and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Seattle and Merry Christmas, everybody. SportsCenter is next after this message.